All right, good morning. Excited that you're going to watch this live. If you watch this sometime in the future, welcome to the new year. I've got my entire leadership group here this morning. So good morning, everybody. I've got Israel and Jen out in Arizona. We've got Johnny in Utah and Brandon. We've got Leonard out in Tennessee. Who else we got on the call today? I think that's it. So we got a good group from our leadership. Once you rewatch this, we're going to cover business plans today, and we're going to cover the expired approach that everybody in the United States should be chasing the month of January. So if you want more business, this is the call to watch. So good morning, everybody. Excited to have you guys here. Unmute. Welcome to the new year. And thanks for being here.
Morning.
Morning. Okay, so if you haven't watched one of our lives before, the reason we originally put these together was to lower the failure rate. How do we do that? We provide more training and support, and we can do this faster if we go in groups. So what we did is we took our leadership group on our brokerage team, and now we come together for 30 minutes every Thursday, provide free training for everybody that watches this live or rewatches this as a way for us to help the real estate community do more business. So excited. We've got Leonard here. Leonard, you've had your license for now going on your 4th year, right?
We're going to cross 4 years here in we're going to cross over 3 years. I'm starting my 4th year this year in like a couple weeks.
Sweet. Okay, so you got about 4 years. Israel, you've had yours for about 10, right?
Yep, a little over 10 years, yep.
Cool. And then Johnny, how long have you had yours for?
A year in Montana, and then I'm coming up on my 1 year in Utah.
Cool. Awesome. Okay. And then Brandon, you've had, what year are you going on now?
A year and a half.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. And then Jen, you just barely got yours.
I've actually had my license coming up on 4 years now. I just recently went full time.
I have no idea how I didn't know that. Yeah, well, that's awesome. So if you are a realtor and you're watching this, there's so much variety on the leadership group. So we'll give you a lot of different good perspectives on these topics. Okay, so let's jump into this. So the first topic we're going to talk about is the importance of having a business plan for 2026. It's crazy how many realtors I've talked to that don't have a business plan. And so we're going to talk about the one that we built as a brokerage team that is available. If you don't have this and you're not on our brokerage team, or you don't work with any of us in any of the coaching platforms, this is a free packet. So if you want to comment wealth planning in the comments, whether you're watching this on Instagram or on YouTube, either myself or anybody on this call will reach out and get you this packet. This will break down how to plan your 2026. And this is one of my favorite quotes from Benjamin Franklin. And he says, by failing to prepare, you're preparing to fail. So you've got to have a clear map. The clearer the vision, the easier and the more likely it will be for you to hit your goals this year. And then we're going to talk about the approach that you should be taking in January to get more listings. So let's unmute and just open this up to discussion. What quotes do you guys love about planning? Let's talk about planning, your experience with planning, and let's just have an open discussion about this. So who wants to chime in and chat about this?
I'll go first.
Okay.
I think that one approach that you have to planning that's completely different, and I mentioned this to you several times before, is how you start with yourself, right? As an agent, as a person, and all that. So like how you do an audit. Number one, that you do an audit on the business plan from the previous year, which it kind of makes sense, right? Like if you think about it, so I should analyze what I did last year, but not that many agents do that. And then number two is starting with you. Because to me, that has been a great change. Like, I think as agents in general, we understand, I want to, close 50 deals next year. So you kind of do some numbers and you figure out, well, I got to go talk to people and do this, right? But if you're not, your mindset, your personal life, your family life is not in tune, like you always talk about, it's hard to go and do the work. And as I talk to agents sometimes when they reach out to me about business planning or in general, why we're being successful. Normally I bring that up. I say, how's your personal life? No, they need to tell me details of their lives, but I think they get caught by surprise when when we mentioned, hey, if you personally or your mindset is in the right place, then it's going to be hard to execute. So to me, that was a huge wake up call when I met you the first time and you brought that up to me, and I'm like, oh, it makes sense, right? But I don't think that many agents or coaches think about that. So,
well, I think it's common too, like in real estate, for platforms, brokerage teams, leaders, coaching groups to say, hey, yeah, you have to have a plan. It's important. Go build one. But then to actually have the layout to go build one and the support to do it is almost impossible to find. So there was if you guys hop on my Instagram, there's a quote by Michael Hyatt that I put as a post the other day. And he said, if you have a clear vision, you will eventually attract the right strategy. If you don't have a clear vision, no strategy will save you. Where there is no vision, the people perish. Biblically speaking, when the vision is clear, the results will appear. And it's like, Israel, you, for example, like this year, right, having one of your biggest years transaction-wise, financially, literally just because you had a goal that you were hunting and then you had the support to go achieve that.
Yeah, it's so funny because I'm a very disorganized guy, right? Like I have paperwork all over my desk. I need to get better. That's my goal 2026, FYI. So but anyway, I was going through some of the stuff and I had something from like last year, and it's, I should have taken a picture and sent to you. But right there, it was one of my goals. It was to go on a vacation with my kids, and then I put parentheses cruise, right? And so anyway, when I saw that the other day, it just, yeah, exactly what you're saying, right? Like, because I didn't have a real plan, I never could have executed on that. And this year was the first time I was able to do it. But it's been a goal of mine for many years now. So it's kind of interesting. I just found it on a pile of paper right there. I was cleaning my desk the other day. So I'm like, it was a big aha moment to me. Like I looked at it and I'm like, because I didn't have a vision, like you say, right? So it was different. I was able to execute it and accomplish it. So that was great.
I think one thing that's really cool, like if you're watching this live on any of the platforms, like look at this layout on the screen. You've got your vision board on the left, and then you have it translated into a business plan, and then that is what is on your schedule. So like, for example, Israel had the goal forever, but you didn't have the second and third piece. There wasn't any system built to help you go and do that. You had that this year, and then obviously you hit the goal. So again, if you guys are watching this, or if you're watching this as a rewatch on YouTube Live or any of the social media platforms, comment wealth planning down below, and whatever platform you put it on, that leader on this call will reach out and give you a copy of this. Okay, Brandon, I want to have you chime in as well, because when you and I had met, you can talk a little bit about that, but you didn't have a business plan. No one helped you build a business plan. Then you had a business plan and you 15x'd your results in a 12-month span. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, for me, it looks a little bit different because I'm part-time transitioning into full-time. So my schedule is way different. And before I had a business plan, it was go in the office, make 250 calls a day, and just hope somebody picks up the phone and that you can convert them. When I came onto your team and we broke down what the business plan should look like, it's how much time are you, or how many deals do you need to go from part-time to full-time? How are you going to accomplish that? I didn't have any of that. And so now that we've been able to break down how many conversations you need to have a week, how are you going to convert from those conversations, and then the different types of prospecting that we have. So it has to make sense.
Yeah, I think the reason that it has to make sense is because it's so hard, right? Like Brandon, if you guys haven't watched his YouTube video, the goal for Brandon is to go from part-time to full-time and then run a mastermind on our brokerage team for agents trying to make that transition. And it's no joke. Like, it's hard, right? Who else on the brokerage team is making that transition? We've got Tina that's making that transition. You're close to finishing that transition. Who else is making that? There's a couple others.
I think Sammy's
George
making that.
well.
What was that?
George as well. George, Luke.
That's right.
George.
Luke. That's right. So
So
a lot of
if they
realtors
don't
have this.
if they don't have the blueprint, then they're not going to be able to make it. And that's why, like, this is the whole point of these calls, is to lower the failure rate. Because if I didn't transition on to your team, if I didn't leave and go to your team into real, I would probably be out of the industry.
Yeah, it goes to show that, if I pull this up, it goes to show that training, support, and having the culture helping you accomplish that goal is what allows you to get to that goal, right? So again, if you're an agent watching this and you're part-time wanting to go full-time, having a business plan that supports you and there's a timeline, right, that allows you like a target to hit, then the likelihood of you doing that goes through the roof. So, and you guys can see that in Brandon's story, doing one deal in 6 months to 15xing that in the next 12, literally just because he had a target he was chasing. And it doesn't make it easier, but it's doable. Jen, did you want to hop on and comment on this too? So Jen's out in Arizona, guys, recently joined our brokerage team, had her license for about 4 years, comes from the teaching world. So her and I are spirit animals.
Yeah, because honestly, I personally, because I've been on like multiple brokerages, and I've always been a solo agent. So this is the first time I'm actually like on a team. And it's honestly probably one of the greatest decisions I've ever made, because like Brandon said, like you could go in and be like, hey, I'm going to call 250 people and hopefully one of them converts. But my problem was, what am I supposed to say? How am I supposed to say it? What am I supposed to, like, how do I get them to where I need them to go? And that was like my biggest issue for me. So like doing the 2 role plays a day really helped. And even with this business plan, it was like probably one of the biggest aha moment I've ever had, because this is literally what I used to do with 12 and 13-year-olds, honestly. We would come back right after Christmas break, and then we would pull out data and be like, hey, where are you at? Where are you on track to hit either a level 3 or a level 4 in Arizona? That's like either proficient or highly proficient. It's like, what do you have to do now? And then we would have to break it down into like little pieces and be like, okay, what are you going to do to fix that? And like just basically helping the kids, like steer them to the direction of helping them get to their goal of what they want at the end of the school year. So for me, this was like, oh my God, like, why did I not think of this early on? And it helped me put like all the puzzles together. And it's easier now for me to be like, oh, let me see if I can fit that into my schedule. If I can, great. If I can't, be like, no, it's like I have to call physicals on that date from that time to that time. It's like, is there another time that works? So it for me, it helped a lot for sure.
Yeah, there's a phrase that I love that goes, a confused mind will always say no. And the reason that's the case is because it kicks into fight or flight, and your brain just tries to protect you from making mistakes, right? So most realtors, what'll happen is it's like you don't know what to do. You don't know you're supposed to be calling physical expires right now. And so you procrastinate or get distracted or surf on social media, and then the plan never progresses, right? Whereas if you have a vision board like this, a plan that tells you how to execute it, and your schedule literally 99% of the time is the exact same every day, then how do you not hit your goals? And I love that, right? Like this is what 12 and 13-year-olds are taught, but in the business world, especially real estate, this is not that common. So
yeah, I mean, even the other day, we were watching the news, and the news was like covering how to make a SMART goal. And I was like, yeah, that's important. And I'm like, I'm happy the news is covering it. I was like, but it's like you were literally taught that probably early on. And I remember like telling one of my co-teachers that I used to teach with, who was also a really good friend of mine. And I was telling her, I was like, dude, it's literally the same exact things. Like, but the only difference this time with this brokerage is that there's packets, and like he guides you, meaning Jeremy guides you in a way of where like he helps you make it understandable. And then there's like suggestions he also gives. I'm like, which was a huge like key part in what was missing for me. And honestly, it's helped because like I got my first buyer under contract in 9 days from meeting them. So I was like, oh my God, it works. Like, let's go again.
Yep. And what's fun too is like when you know you're trying to hit a target then your actions are going to back that up. And then all of a sudden it's like you have that buyer, right? But it's like you're not on an island by yourself. You have Israel, who's in Arizona, to call. You have me to call. You can call Brandon, you can call Johnny, you can call Leonard. Anybody else on the leadership group, it's like you can get that support where it's like, hey, I just need to run something by you real quick. Yeah. And then boom, right? Like you put those buyers under contract. And then it's always fun too, because most realtors that I interact with, when they put a deal under contract, they're like, yes. And the whole world becomes that one deal for the next 30 days. And it's like, no, like when you called me or told me, hey, I got a deal under contract, my response automatically is like, great, high five. Where's the next one coming from? Like, you've got big goals to hit this year. Like, where's that next one? Like, let's give that to a TC. Now let's move. But if you didn't have a plan and you didn't know that was what you're trying to target, then obviously you're not going to do that. So
no, and honestly, that was probably like my first mistake early on in my career, because like I've had a few transactions in the past, and once I got them under contracts, like, oh yay, now like I'm gonna put all my focus on you, and my pipeline honestly dried up.
Yep. Okay, so if you're a realtor and you're rewatching this and you want this business plan that we're talking about, then DM or comment on whatever platform you're watching, Wealth Planning, and whoever's platform it is, we'll make sure we get this out to you. We also have a free training that's every week on Tuesdays, and we train on different topics. It's a free worldwide training to realtors on different topics of how to execute and put deals under contract. So if you want to be on that, comment worldwide free training, and we can get you the link for that. That's every week on Tuesday for 30 minutes. So lots of ways that we can provide value, but the business plan is the number one thing you're going to want this year. All right, let's transition to the last topic, and then we'll wrap up this week's live. So in January, if you haven't been taught this, then you're probably in a situation that you need to get out of. But in January 1st specifically, it's known as National Expireds Day. Why? Because every expired listing or listing that became expired, most realtors, the listing agents, will sign that until December 31st. And then at 4 a.m. on January 1st, they become expired. So most markets are going to have hundreds of expireds hit that are free game for you to go and call, text, door knock to snag that for your business. So for example, this is a diagram of Southern Utah, a market that Brandon and I are in. And this morning there were 100 and almost 50 expireds that hit this morning.
206.
206. I must have had a filter on. 206 expireds in Southern Utah in one day, in one morning. Look at all the free game that you can go and hunt. And it was wild. We were talking about this on our role play call, which if you want to get into role play, comment role play down below, and one of us will reach out to you about that. But we were talking about all the different expired volume amounts that hit in all the different markets. Jen and Israel, you guys talked about this. How many did you have hit in Arizona this morning?
I only own 2 cities right now, Gilbert and Mesa, and I have 133 right now. Just 2 cities.
So 133. Johnny, you had a couple hundred up in Utah County. How many did you have?
225.
225. Leonard, how many did you have in your market?
I had a ridiculous amount. Just in my whole MLS, there was 768.
We're not going to see Leonard for the next 30 days. He's going to be hunting.
I know. It's terrible. But just in my county, Knox County, which is like Knoxville City and like kind of a little bit of surrounding, I had 107. And that's like within 30 minutes of my house each way.
That's awesome.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I think it was who had the most this morning. We have a couple agents in LA, and they had, was it over 1,000, or was that Atlanta? The Atlanta market.
Yeah. There was a lot in Atlanta.
So anyways, the idea behind this, if you haven't heard of this before, if you're watching this or rewatching this, is the amount of expireds versus the amount of realtors that are working right now is unheard of. And you're going to have about a 30-day window where there's next to zero competition in your market. Yet the amount of people that have their hand raised that still want to relist is going to be the highest right now that it'll be all year. Now, granted, let's say you have 1,000 expireds. you might have 600 that aren't going to relist, or maybe they relist in the spring. But now you have 600 or whatever number I just said that you can track every other week, and you have all those listings coming in the spring. Or you have the other chunk that are ready right now that want to relist with another realtor right now. And most of the time they'll relist with a different realtor and the first realtor that actually approaches them. So Leonard, you're doing a lot of expireds. I've done a lot of expireds in the past. Israel, you've done those. What are some tips and tricks that we can give in regards to signing expireds? And then let's go ahead and wrap up this week's live call.
Yeah, I'll go. The biggest tip and trick with expireds is getting to them first. Like you just said, they're going to sign with the first person that they talk to a lot of the time. For me, when I'm looking at expireds, the really juicy, the good ones are the ones with terrible marketing. Like their agent just failed them. You're talking about the pictures with the fingers in the camera, like blurry pictures, just cell phone pictures, all that kind of stuff. Or if like it says new listing, this and that, and it's been on the market for 100 days, you're like, okay, that realtor failed them. So I'm going to call them. And the thing with expireds is building trust. You really want to try and build trust right off of the bat. Set the appointment. At the appointment, just focus on relationship, building trust, and seeing if they're comfortable making the move.
100%. So essentially what you're going to do, you're going to sit in front of your MLS. You're going to pull up the hot sheet, click on expired. And let's say you have 100. You're going to filter through like the lowest hanging fruit, like Leonard's talking about. I saw one this morning, Brandon. I'm not sure if you saw this one. Had been on the market for 200 days. And the description literally said exactly what Leonard said. Brand new listing, just hit the market, and like nothing had changed. No price reductions. And the pictures were taken with a phone. And that's a $700,000 listing. And the realtor is like in his 60s. So those are the ones that you prioritize. So you make a list of those. Let's say there's 25 of them, and those now become your priority for the next couple days. You text them, call them, go door knock, drop off goodies, take your listing packet and drop that off. But those are the ones that you prioritize because they're going to be the ones that you can snag right away. Anybody else have thoughts or tips and tricks on expireds? Because expireds are very different than FSBOs. And if you're on our free call every Tuesday, we train on this periodically. If you want to get on those free calls, they're for all realtors worldwide. Comment worldwide training, worldwide free training down below, or shoot me a text at 702-525-5766 and we'll get you the link. Israel, did you have a comment?
Yeah, I think the same lines that you and Leonard are talking about is, I think the approach into expires has to be from, honestly, from the bottom of your heart, knowing that, hey, your realtor should have done a better job and he didn't, right? So it's sometimes, you hear a bunch of coaches out there say, oh, you got to call them and this is a script. And so, when you're going to be ready to call, to hire the right agent and la, la, la. And they make that one quick phone call. The prospect says no, and they never call them again. But if we're showing up at their doors with the packet and we're showing up right there, showing them, hey, this is the marketing that we do, honestly, and just being honest like that, sincere with them, honestly, I don't understand why your house didn't sell. It should have sold because it was priced right, but you didn't have the right marketing approach and all that stuff. And then when you go out the door and you start talking to them, you start finding out that, they're kind of upset, but they just don't know how to sometimes fire the realtor, right? Like if you would have approached the one that you were talking about, maybe, I know it's illegal. We can't do it, right? For legal reasons, but maybe that when one of you guys go back to the potential client, right? The seller, he or she will tell you that. So yeah, we don't know why, sitting in the market for 200 days. And then when you show them and you ask them the question, say, have you done any open houses? Like when they see that, hey, it should have been more work done, a $750,000 home, it should have sold. Then that's when the light goes on their head, right? Like, say, you're right. But it needs to come from approach like, we want to do better. We want to represent our industry better, and we want to help. It's a reason why they had the desire to sell it. Some of these people need to move because of work, or downsize or whatever it is. But you just got to come with, and people can feel that. Don't just go there and try to get a listing to say, oh, I got a listing, right? And then you're going to be the same or worse than the other guy. But if you come from an approach that the way that we do it, right? Like we're trying to help you out and show you that, hey, you should have sold this house. And we clearly can understand why it happened. And this is why, the things that we can do better, and it will help you to sell for sure. So
100%. Yes. If you call these or door knock them or reach out to these guys and you're just curious of what happened, like you're actually surprised that didn't sell and you just want to help, whether that means you sign it or you don't, people are naturally going to feel that. And if you put good out into the world, you'll always get it back. So yeah, great perspective. Brandon?
Yeah. So one of the things that you taught me, because before on my old team, that was my thing, is I love to call expireds. But I was pitching them over the phone. And you taught me don't pitch them over the phone. You pitch them when you show up to their house and meet them.
Yep.
And I think that's a massive difference in how people go about when they're trying to pick up expireds. Also, another thing I like to do is if I do book that expired appointment, I'll do a deep dive on that property. I'll see why. I'll look up the agent on Instagram or on social medias. If they don't have any, then that's like, okay, I can grab this one and use this as an example of why this house went sell, because there was no exposure.
Right.
And like you said, the one that was on that you mentioned earlier, most of these agents that have these expireds are probably family friends or family members, and they don't like they're a little bit older, so they don't know how to use social media or anything like that. And so I think those are just really easy conversations to have with that prospective expired. And you know, a lot of the times when you have an expired or call an expired, they're just going to want to talk. They're going to want to tell you why it didn't sell. And
Yep.
a lot of it's just listening to what they thought and what they think. And like I said, if you can get one of those where the agent has no socials, then that is probably you should be able to close it right then and there.
Yeah, they're the easiest ones. Yeah,
And there's a lot of those.
So some things to look for if you haven't done expireds before, look for, have they had any price reductions? Have they changed the description? Are the photos done by a phone? Go look the agent up and see if there's any social media marketing. You can see if they've done any open houses on the house. And then 9.9 times out of 10, they didn't door knock the neighborhood. It's like right there, you can have all these different advantages and ways to help a seller actually move their property the next go around. And then I think sometimes too, like just from my perspective, some agents just burn out on that listing. And so they want it to go expired. Like I've had those in the past where it's like, man, I just tried everything. Seller didn't want to drop the price or wasn't ready to. And I'm just gassed. I'm ready to give it to another realtor. You guys are also going to run into those. And so again, like you have a list of 500, you're going to have a couple, like 200-300 that want to wait, but then you're going to have a bunch of others that you filter out. And maybe you get to 50, and those 50 are primed, ready to go, and you can genuinely help. Those are the ones that you want to chase, that you can actually provide value to, take care of them, and get the property sold. So take these tips and tricks. Hopefully this is really beneficial. And again, if you want help like this, as we wrap up for today, we do free trainings on this for realtors worldwide as a value add from our leadership group to realtors worldwide. Comment worldwide free training below and we'll send you the link. There's almost 100 realtors in there, and it's literally trainings just like we did right there. We give for free with packets, ebooks, whiteboard trainings to just help you do more business. And that's really why we do these weekly calls now that you'll see here in 2026, is to provide value to, so you can go do more business. Anybody have anything they want to say as we wrap up? If you're rewatching this and you watched the whole episode, thank you for watching it. Make sure you get the business planning packet by commenting wealth planning down below. Shoot a DM to whatever platform you're on, or you can reach out to me via text and I'll get you the packet as well. Anybody else have anything they want to comment as we wrap up? Okay. Make sure if you're rewatching this, do your planning. Go expires in January, and I guarantee that will put more money in your pocket. Thanks a ton for watching. We'll catch you guys next week.